Welcome to today's class. In our earlier session, we have understood the scheme of taxation. In that context, I had already told you that every person whose total income exceeds a maximum limit which is not chargeable to tax is an assessee, and that assessee will be chargeable to tax at the rate or rates which is applicable to him. And these rates are there in the Finance Act in most of the cases. There are some specific rates which are there in the Income Tax Act also, like tax on long-term capital gain, etc. Otherwise, the normal slab rate you can find it in the Finance Act. And in previous class, we are also discussing about various schedules of Finance Act. Okay, first schedule of the Finance Act we have discussed part one, part two, part three, part four, and we know some of the tax rates which are applicable to assessment year 21-22, right? So we're still discussing the various rates of tax, and we'll continue our today's discussion from that point. Please bear with me for a moment. I'm trying to share the screen with you right now. I think screen is visible to you now. No, may not be visible. Just give me one more minute. Yeah, now you are able to see the screen. Is it done? And we are discussing rates of taxes. Yeah. So we have already seen, or we have already discussed about the fast schedule to the Finance Act. The fast schedule to the Finance Act contains four parts: part one, part two, part three, and part four. In part one, you can find out income tax rate for various assessment years. If you look at Finance Act 2020, you can find out tax rate for the assessment year 2021. If you look at the Finance Act 21, which is yet to come, which will be coming, you can find out the rates applicable for the assessment year 21-22. But the rates which are applicable to assessment year 21-22 is already there in the Finance Act 20, but not in part 1. It is already there in the part 3. Therefore, even if the Finance Act 21 has not yet come, the finance bill itself has not yet come, but still we know what is the rate applicable for the financial year 21-22, and we will be learning those rates. Incidentally, these rates are also same previous year. That means assessment year 21-22 and 2021 rates are same, and we know this is the rate for individual HUA, POP, BOI, and HAP. That is up to 2,50,000 rupees. There is to be no tax. Then above 2,50,000 rupees and up to 5 lakh rupees, normal tax is 5%, and above 5 lakh and up to 10 lakh rupees 20%, and above 10 lakh rupees it is 30%. We have seen some examples, and also we have understood the impact of this section 87A. Rebate is given. Because of this rebate, if the total income does not exceed 5 lakh rupees, what happens? Entire tax becomes zero. A rebate is given to the extent of 100% of tax, or the actual tax amount which is calculated, whichever is that means 100% of the tax means whatever is the tax computed, or rupees 12,500, whichever is higher. And because of this rebate, you have already seen in our earlier classes, tax liability comes to nil. But if the total income exceeds 5 lakh rupees, you have to pay tax. You cannot avail this rebate. Okay, we have understood this thing in our previous class. For senior citizen, basic exemption limit is not 2,50,000, it is 3 lakh rupees. And for super senior citizen, basic exemption limit is 5 lakh rupees. Thereafter, above 5 lakh to 10 lakh rupees, 20%, and above 10 lakh rupees, 30%. We know all these things. Okay, and this is the provision we are discussing, and we have practically seen it also. If the total income is less than or equal to 5 lakh, a deduction of 100% of tax or rupees 12,500, whichever is less, that will be allowed as a deduction. Okay, two things you have to see. First of all, we have to check that whether income is up to 5 lakh rupees or more. If it is more than 5 lakh rupees, then rebate under 87A cannot be given to that assessee. Did you understand this? But if it is slightly more, we have already seen it is 5 lakh and 1 rupee, then that person is not eligible for this rebate. Now, second thing is that how much rebate? Rebate is an amount equal to 100% of such income tax. So you'll calculate what is the 100% of the tax and 12,500 rupees or 12,500 rupees, whichever is less. If you calculate the tax exactly what is the tax on rupees 5 lakh rupees, you can find out the tax amount is 12,500. So up to 12,500 rupees rebate can be given. Okay. In addition to that, surcharges are also there. We have also discussed this thing. If the income is more than 50 lakh, up to 1 crore, surcharge is 10%. More than 1 crore, up to 2 crore, surcharge is 15%. More than 2 crore, but up to 5 crore, surcharge is 25%. And above 5 crore, surcharge is 37%. Okay. What is surcharge? Surcharge is a tax on tax. First will compute income tax, on that will be computing surcharge. Okay. Did you understand what is a surcharge? Yes, sir. Yeah. Now, friends, in assessment year 21-22, a new section is introduced, that is section 115 BAC. Right. And this is an optional scheme. Optional scheme means an assessee may choose this scheme. So the tax slab we have learned right now, that is the normal tax slab, or that is called as the old regime or old scheme you can refer to. But this is referred to as the new scheme or new regime, and it's an optional scheme. And this particular section 115 BAC is applicable to two category of persons. One is, can you read it? One category of person is, can you read here? Who are they?
Individuals.
Individuals, and other categories?
HUF.
So this particular section is choice of individuals and HUFs. If they want, they can avail the benefit of this section. But this benefit will be availed at a cost. At a cost means they have to sacrifice certain rebates and certain deductions. Okay, certain deductions and rebates has to sacrifice, then only they come to the new scheme. And this new scheme or 115 BAC scheme offers you a concessional rates. It gives you a choice that your income will be taxed at a concessional rate. Okay, what is that concessional rate? You can see the tax slabs. This is the alternative tax slab. So if it is income is 0 to 2.5 lakh, how much tax? Nil. Earlier old slab also the same thing. But above 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh, here you see 5%. Above 5 lakh to 7.5 lakh, it will be taxed at 10%. Above 7.5 lakh to 10 lakh, 15%. Above 10 lakh and up to 12.5 lakh, 20%. Above 12.5 lakh to 15 lakh, 25%. Above 15 lakh, it is 30%. Now you can see tax rate is gradually increasing from 5% to 10, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to 25, 25 to 30. Okay, these are concessional rates. Are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Right. So here you see in the slab rate, the gap is 2.5 lakh. For 0 to 2.5, 2.5 to 5, 5 to 7.5, 7.5 to 10, 10 to 12.5, 12.5 to 15, then above 15 lakh. Okay. Now you see for an increase of 2.5 lakh, rate is increasing by 5%. Okay. But again, let me tell you, this is a choice. You may go for old regime or you may go for new regime. New regime means it is 115 BAC. Okay.
Sir, why this new regime is provided?
Why it is provided? Okay. Your question is, what is the purpose?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you see, first of all, we must think about one thing, or we must appreciate that law is not logic. Always we cannot just give a logic to the provisions of the law. Whatever is the law, whatever is passed, So we are expected to follow it, right? Logic, maybe when the parliamentarians brought this kind of law, their intention is that to give some benefit to those people who may not be interested to make some investment, right? And you can see under new scheme, so they have to sacrifice certain deduction, they have to sacrifice certain rebates which are based on certain investments. If somebody is not willing to make an investment, still he can go for a concessional rate under new scheme. Old scheme is beneficial to those who are making some investment. Let us say he is making some investment under section 80C eligible investment vehicles, right? Or he has taken health insurance, he has taken life insurance, he has purchased a house and paying this thing, interest as well as principal. So those people who are getting benefit under old scheme. But if that is not the case, still benefit can be given to a person if it's go for the new scheme. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Otherwise, you see, nowhere clearly it has been stated that on this ground, on this logic, this particular section is introduced. Right. So technically, it is difficult to answer the why this section is introduced. So technically, for anything also, it is very difficult to answer that why this thing is there. Basic purpose of the law, why Income Tax Act is introduced, that is okay. You can see, you can read the preamble of the law, you can understand the purpose. But a purpose of a particular section, we can guess this might be the reason, but exactly we cannot say in absence of any record for that. There is no record that why this is introduced. Okay, am I clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Right. Did you understand this concept? Okay. Now you see, as you know, if you opt for new scheme, what will happen? You have to sacrifice certain things or certain deductions. For example, these are some examples I have only shown you. You might be knowing, or you will be knowing when you will be learning salary chapter. Every salaried employee get a deduction called a standard deduction of rupees 50,000. But if you go for new scheme, you cannot avail this. Leave travel allowance deductions are allowed. House rent allowance deductions are allowed. Certain allowances which are specified under section 1014. All these deductions will not be available. The deduction of interest on income from house property up to 2 lakh rupees, that will also not be allowed. Okay, deduction under chapter 6C, 1 lakh up to rupees 1,50,000, and in case of NPA and additional NPS and other 50,000, these deductions will not be made available. Deduction under 80G, which is given for certain donation, they are not available. Okay, deduction under 80E, that is if interest on educational loan will not be allowed. Deduction under 80TTA, that is interest on saving bank account, will not be allowed. So like this, many deductions or many you can say rebates needs to be sacrificed if you opt for new scheme. Now question arises that which scheme is better? You might be thinking, should I go for new scheme and sacrifice all my deduction and pay at a concessional rate, or I will continue with my existing scheme? Friends, it depends on the facts. It depends on that means the decision will vary from case to case, that is from assessee to assessee. Some assessee new scheme may be beneficial, some assessee old scheme may be beneficial. Those assessees who are having investments in some eligible scheme may be up to a particular income, up to a particular level of income. Old scheme might be beneficial, but beyond that, new scheme will be beneficial. And those who may not be having certain benefits, maybe old will be beneficial. Friends, give me a moment. We got disturbed, I think. Yeah, are you listening to me now?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We got disconnected. Once again, I'm trying to establish the connection. Yeah. Are you seeing the screen now? Screen is visible to you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So friends, we are discussing whether new scheme is better and old scheme is better. And I told you just now that it depends. It varies from assessee to assessee. It depends upon the kind of investment is happening. It also depends upon the level of income he has got, right? So some comparison can be made on the base on some assumption basis, but it's an hypothetical situation. You can see if the net income is 7 lakh and the person has deduction, person can claim a deduction up to 2.5 lakh, considering his ATC deductions and other deductions, etc. Then from 7 lakh after this deduction, the total income will become 4.7 lakh. Right? Under old regime, he has to pay tax, he has to pay tax on 4.7 lakh. But if you go for new scheme, then he cannot avail this deduction. He has to pay tax on the entire 7 lakh. Right? So under old scheme, tax will be 0, but under new schemes, tax will be 37,500. Right? Up to 2 lakh 50,000 0, then 2 lakh 50,000 to 5 lakh 5%, then above 5 lakh to 7.5 lakh 10% on that basis. Okay. So you see which scheme is beneficial to this person?
Sir, new scheme.
No, new see
The old one.
old one.
Old,
But here
yes.
assumption is that he has availed deduction of 2.5 lakh. This is assumption. This will vary from situation to situation. Let the person is having 10 lakh income and still he is having deduction of 2.5 lakh. Then his income will be considered as 7.75 lakh. And under old scheme, under new scheme, his income will be considered as 10 lakh only because deductions will not be allowed to him. Okay. And the tax outgo will be under old scheme 70,200, under new scheme 78,000. Still, old scheme is better. But income is 15 lakh. So under old scheme, his income will be considered as total income will be considered as 12.75 after deduction. Under new scheme, income will be 15 lakh. And under old scheme, the tax outgo will be 2 lakh 2,800. And tax outgo under new scheme will be 1 lakh 95,000. And consequently, you can find the new scheme is better at a higher tax slab. New scheme is better. Are you getting? Tax outgo will be less. Are you agreeing or not?
Yes, sir.
For 30 lakh income also, if you see, under old scheme, the total income will be 27.75. Under new scheme, it is 30 lakh. Tax outgo will be under old scheme 6,70,800. Under new scheme, it is 6,63,000. So here also you can find new scheme is better, tax outgo is less by 7,800. Okay. So one need to check, in fact, in which income, depending upon his saving, depending upon his deductions, eligibility, which scheme is better. So one can say new scheme may be better at a high income group with minimal investment. Old regime may be better with low to middle income group, right? So it varies, but there is no straight cut formula to decide which scheme is better in which situation. And one more thing you have to also remember, when I say new scheme, if the rates are 5%, 10%, okay, then 15%, etc. But also you have to remember that to that surcharge will be added. Sorry, health and education cess will be added. Okay, so tax rates are there. That is that 5% is including surcharge. 5% rates are there. Plus, if you include surcharge and educational cess, it will effectively come to 5.2, then 10.4, 15.6, 20.8. This will be the effective tax rate. Okay. Now, friends, we'll do one thing. Now, you might be thinking that how a taxpayer will know that which scheme is better for him. So this provision is earlier I had already shown new income tax calculator. I'll once again take you to the income tax department's website. Just give me a moment for this. Just 1 minute. I'm taking you to the website of incometaxindia.gov.in, income tax department's homepage. Are you seeing it on the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we are thinking that how to take decision whether one should go for old scheme or whether one should go for the new scheme. The process is very easy. What I can do, I had already told you. You see, this is the website. Frequently, I expect all of you to visit to this website. You can read acts, rules, circulars in this area. These are important for you. All of you may go through. And one more useful thing for you is tax tools. I had taken you to tax tools in our previous class. Again, I will be taking you here. Apart from that, you see these tax tutorials are also here. They are also useful things for you. Tax charts and tables, they are also useful things. So you make yourself familiar with all these things. I'm taking you now to this here, tax tools. Okay, let me click here, tax tools. Here you see there is a link tax calculator. Are you seeing it?
Yes, sir.
I'll click here tax calculator. You see calculator is coming before you. Here there is a choice. Here you see you have to fill up this thing. Let us say for assessment year 21-22. My taxpayer is an individual. Here you see this option is asking you whether opting taxation under section 115 BAC. And what is 115 BAC? I just explained you right now. That means what? If you want to opt for new scheme, you can write here, yes, I will go for new scheme. You can write here, yes. Let us say you are a normal male citizen, not a senior one. Residential status is resident. Now here we'll put our total taxable income. Let's say total taxable income, I am writing 12 lakh. Okay. I'll press enter. You see, what is the tax liability?
1,19,600.
600 including surcharge. Okay. 1,19,600 including surcharge. Is it visible to you? All of you are seeing? Let us say
Yes,
I don't want to opt. Let us say I don't have any deduction also. I don't want to opt this new scheme. I will go for old scheme. I'll write no. Now you see what is the tax liability?
1,79,400.
You can easily compare here. Yes or no? Yes, 1,19,600. And if it is no, how much it is? 1,17,400. But here you have to keep one thing in the mind that your total income may change. Suppose you see this is, you are writing no, you are not opting. Or if first let us say we are opting. We are opting. Or let us say I will go for no, first of all. Not opting in this one. Okay. And when you opt, what will happen? You have to sacrifice some deduction. Okay. Because of which your total income may increase. That means instead of 12 lakh, it may become, let us say 13 lakh. 13 lakh and you are opting. Now you check. So in the both the situation, your total income may vary depending upon your deductions, eligible deduction. If you're opting the new scheme, then you are not eligible for deductions. Consequently, your total income may be more. And if you're opting, deductions are available, your total income might be less. Did you understand? So what is required is that you need to, first of all, assess your total income under both the schemes and then check which scheme is favorable to you. Did you understand? Can you do it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So, but I request all of you to familiarize yourself, to visit to the income tax department's website and test this thing. So you will find it interesting, and you will also find the subject interesting. Okay, if you get yourself involved, you'll find income tax is a very interesting subject. Okay, since we are here in the website, let me show you some other thing. You see, tax charts and tables. They're also useful things for you. You can have a look how it looks like. You see, tax rates are there. Now we are in the rate chapter. You see, these rates are there. Are you seeing? For individuals. So anytime you can confirm the rates. Okay. For you see, other than senior citizen, this is the rate. 21, 22, 2021, both the rates are there. And this is the rate we are learning. Right. This is the surcharge applicable on different slabs. These rates are there. And this is the special rate I spoke you just now, 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%, 25%, and 30%. This is for assessment year 21, 22 onwards. Okay, assessment year 2021, these rates are not there, only for 21, 22 onwards. Okay, entire rate concept is here. Surcharge is levied like this. Are you getting? Can you find it out easily? Now you see, tax on domestic company, we are going to learn it shortly. So we'll be learning. You see, some cases just have an idea. Some cases it's 25%, some cases it's 30%. I'll be exactly telling you in which case it is 20%, which case it is 30%. Okay, there are some specific provision. The companies who have opted, were opting for this thing, section 115 BA, 115 BAA, and 100% BAB. What are these sections? If you want to know, you can click here. You can see it. I'll bring you to this site once again, once we come to this company's rate of tax. Okay, these are some special rates you see for assessment year 21, 22. I told you two rates are applicable to the company, 25% and 30%. Here you see some cases it might be 20%, 22%, some cases it might be 15%. Right? But effective rate will be more if you include surcharge, etc. Surcharge says for foreign company, you see two rates, 50% and 40%. Just have an idea. For cooperative society, slab rates are 10%, 20%, 30%. Okay. And in specific cases, it can be 22%. Okay. This is about rates of taxes. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll again come here. Let it be. We'll keep it open. Once again, we'll be coming to that side. Yeah. Now you see farms. Now after individual HUF, etc., we are coming to farms. You see tax rate is 30%. And here you have to remember a surcharge of 12% of income tax will be levied if the total income exceeds 1 crore. Okay, if total income exceeds 1 crore, there will be a surcharge of 12%. But the surcharge is subject to marginal relief. And what is that marginal relief? I will be explaining you something. Okay. And of course, there will be cess of 4%. cess will be levied on income tax as well as surcharge. Okay. Then alternate minimum tax is 18.5%. 18.5% plus surcharge plus cess on the book profit. So there is a different concept how book profit will be computed. At this stage, have a rough idea. Book profit means accounting profit. Not exactly accounting profit. There is a process through which book profit will be computed. So this alternative minimum tax means minimum certain amount of tax you have to pay. That is 18.5% of your book profit. We'll be understanding that concept subsequently. Now, friends, let us learn the tax rate applicable to domestic company. Just now, I was showing you the two tax rates are applicable. So far as assessment year 21-22 is concerned. Okay, we'll focus on the assessment year 21-22. Here, one rate is 25%, another rate is 30%. If you see, where it is 25%, if the turnover or gross receipt during the previous year 18-19, here you have to remember, here we are talking about for assessment year 21-22, we are talking about previous year 18-19. If the 18-19 turnover doesn't exceed 400 crore, then the rate applicable for a domestic company is 25%. Okay, the deciding factor is the turnover of the previous year 2018-19. Are you getting? And for other companies, other domestic companies, the rate is how much? 30%. Okay, so two rates are there, 25% and 30%. 25% if the previous year's turnover, previous year 18-19 turnover doesn't exceed 400. For assessment year 21-22, you have to remember this year, this is key item. Okay, earlier year, if you're talking about assessment 2021, then criteria is different. You are referring to the turnover of 17-18. Okay, turnover of 17-18. That is for assessment year 2021. But since we are focusing on assessment 21-22, our deciding factor is the turnover of previous year 18-19. Okay. Okay, are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now you see few other things also you have to remember. In case of companies, what are the rates? Domestic company rate, as I told you, 25% for the companies having turnover in the previous year 18-19 up to 400 crore. If turnover is 400 crore or more, then 30% tax will be levied. And for foreign companies, two rates are applicable. One is 50%, another is 40%. 50% in which case, royalty received from government or Indian concern under some specified agreements. If those kind of royalties are received, then it will be taxed at the rate of 50%. For other incomes, it will be taxed at the rate of 40%. Surcharge will be levied at 7% of domestic company and 2% of foreign companies if the net income exceeds 1 crore. And the surcharge will be 12% of the domestic company and 5% of the foreign company if the net income exceeds 10 crore. Cess, health and education cess will be 4%. And here, just like we are talking about AMT, that is alternate minimum tax. In case of company, it will be called as MAT, that is minimum alternate tax of 18.5% will be levied. Okay, this is the rate applicable to companies. So various rates we have already seen. This is the surcharge rate I told you. If the income between 1 crore to 10 crore, 7%, more than 10 crore, 12%, for foreign companies, 2% and 5%. You can have a look. Once again, I will take you to the chart. I will show you there. As if I was showing you, yeah, I'll do one thing. This thing, different sections are there. So I was talking about this thing, section 115 BA, 115 BAA, 115 BAB, right? So better I will take you to the department's website. Then we'll discuss that part there. Just a minute. Yeah, this is the tax rates I was showing you. Are you able to see it? So for individual tax rates are concerned, no issue. I think you have already understood this. Okay. Farms tax rate also you have understood. Domestic rate I told you 25%, 30%. But here you see there are some if the company opts for this section. What are these sections? Can you read it?
115 BA.
115 BA. Okay, and 115 BAA and 115 BAB. These are certain options to specific companies. Condition is that they should not again avail certain benefits which are provided under Income Tax Act under various sections. If they go for this, then they will be taxed at the rate of 25%. I will show you this, what is 115 BA. Okay, I will click here, I can easily find it here. Just a minute. You see, 115 BA. These are certain conditions. As you can see, are you able to see it? Right, income of a person being a domestic company. Okay, the company should be a domestic company for any previous year relevant to the assessment year beginning on the 1st April 2017. And he has given an option of paying tax at the rate of 25% if the conditions contained in the subsections are satisfied. These are the conditions you see. Companies should have been set up and registered after 1st day of April 2016. Companies not engaged in the business other than manufacture, production of article of research, etc. So these are certain conditions are there. If these conditions are compliant, then only company can go for this 15% tax rate. Similarly, oh, just a minute. Similarly, okay, I will see this thing 115 BAA. You see, this is also a specific section. At appropriate time, I will be explaining you what is this section. The income from a domestic company. They are chargeable at a concessional rate. But here condition is that they cannot avail certain deductions which are provided under various sections of Income Tax Act. These sections, that is what is 35 AD, what is 35 CC. All these things will be learning. Most of these sections will be covered when we will be learning our profit and gains of business and profession chapter, or we'll be learning certain deductions when we're learning the deduction chapter. At that time, I'll be able to explain to you all these things. So right now, friends, let us have this. Let us keep this thing in the mind. Are you seeing the PPT? No, I think they are not seeing the PPT.
No, sir.
No, just a minute. Yeah, I think now you are seeing PPT.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So just keep in the mind that in certain companies are taxed at 30%, in some cases 25%. But there is a optional scheme. Some cases they may be taxed at 22%, and they may be taxed at 15% also because of application of these two sections. These provisions of these sections will be taught to you subsequently. In appropriate time, we will be learning. Okay. Now, assessment of farms. Achha. Now you see, while discussing these provisions, many times I have told you there is an option of minimum, not an option. They are this AMT or MAT provisions are applicable. That is alternate minimum tax or minimum alternate tax provisions are applicable. Okay. What happens? Now you have already seen it. In case of companies and farm, there is no basic exemption limit, is it not? If the income is 1 rupee, still they have to pay tax. Unlike individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, etc., where there is a basic exemption limit up to 2.5 lakh nil, that provision is not there for companies and farms. Okay. And they're taxed at a flat rate. There is no slab rate here. And they're also subject to MAT and AMT application. MAT and AMT, alternate minimum tax and minimum alternate tax is applicable. For in case of companies, it is called as minimum alternate tax. In case of farms, it is called as alternate minimum tax. Okay, that means they have to pay as an alternative to the normal tax, they have to pay a minimum tax. So there is a possibility that because of this application of MAT or AMT, they might have to pay more than what they are actually supposed to pay. They might have to pay more as a minimum alternative. Now for this extra amount they are paying, they will be allowed a credit. That means they can, the tax amount will be there in their credit for 10 years. For subsequent 10 assessment years, the amount can be kept as credit. Now to understand the concept of MAT and AMT, of course, detailed understanding maybe at the latter stage we may have, but at this stage we'll have some very basic understanding. We'll understand how to compute this AMT or MAT. Okay, are you with me? Up to this, is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Are you
Yes,
sure
sir.
that it is clear to you? No confusion. Now you see.
Yes, sir. It's clear.
Now let us say AMT and MAT, how is to be computed? First, we have to compute the total income. You know already what is how total income will be computed. Then compute tax as per normal provisions of the income tax. You know, companies at the applicable rate, you have to compute what is the income tax. Then compute book profit. This book profit computation I'm not teaching you right now. 115 JB provides how book profit will be computed. But for your understanding, just keep it in the mind. Book profit means it is something like accounting profit. You know, the profit under Income Tax Act can be different and profit under accounting can be different. Why it is different? Because purpose of accounting is different. Accounting, we do bookkeeping by following our generally accepted accounting principles. And there are different policies, different kind of accounting policies, different accounting standards. On that basis, we arrive at the profit. Right. Under Income Tax Act, there are some specific provisions. Suppose Income Tax Act clearly says depreciation has to be allowed on block of assets at different rates. It is fixed. But whereas under normal provisions of accounting, we calculate depreciation on the basis of life of the assets. So there might be different in depreciation charged under Income Tax Act and depreciation charged under the provisions of the Companies Act, not by application of normal acceptable accounting principles. Right. So because of this thing, there is a possibility that accounting profit might be different and income tax profit might be different. Okay. So we need to compute. First, we'll compute the total income. Then we'll compute the tax on that total income. Then we'll compute the book profit under this provisions of section 115 JB. Then compute 18.5% of the book profit. Okay. Then tax liability will be your normal tax, which is computed on the tax 2, step 2, or 18.5%, which is computed on the step 4, whichever is higher. If normal tax is more, then no issue, pay normal tax. But normal tax is less, but your 18.5%, which we call it as the AMT or MAT, if this is more, then you have to pay the higher amount. That means minimum this amount you have to pay. And on that amount, education in this, your both the cess, health and education cess, as well as surcharge will be levied. And the extra you are paying, that can be carried forward as a credit for 10 assessment years. Okay, this is the basic understanding of MAT or AMT. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
All
of you agree?
Yes, sir.
Right. You see, just have some basic idea. This is how MAT is calculated. That means we calculate normal tax. right? What we do? Two things we compare. We calculate normal tax plus we calculate what? MAT. What is MAT? 18.5% of the book profit. And law says minimum you have to pay 18.5% of the book profit. So if 18.5% of the book profit is higher, then please pay that thing. So in fact, if you are doing that, then you are ending up paying more. The extra amount we are paying, what you can do, you can take it as a credit. It is called as the MAT credit or AMT credit for 10 assessment years, subsequent years. In some other years, the situation will be reverse. Let us say your tax liability will be less and your 18.5% MAT will be, your tax liability will be more and MAT will be less. Then you can adjust that credit. That is the purpose of giving you credit. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, I'm again going to share the screen with you. For cooperative societies, normal slab is, you see, 10% up to 10,000 rupees and above 10,000. This is for the 2021 past I will be talking about. Above 10,000 up to 20,000 rupees, 20%. Above 20,000 rupees, 30%. Surcharge is 12%. If the income exceeds 1 crore, health and education cess is 4%. AMT is also applicable. But for the assessment year 21-22, tax rate is 22% flat plus surcharge of 10% and cess is 4%. In certain situations, it is 22% for cooperative societies. For local authorities, tax rate is 30%, surcharge of 12% if the total income exceeds rupees 1 crore. Cess is 4%, alternate minimum tax is 18.5%. Friends, this is what we discussed about the normal tax rates. But in addition to that, there are certain tax rates which are special. We call it the special tax rates. And most of these tax rates are provided in the Income Tax Act itself, not in the budget. Okay. What are these tax rates? First of all, short-term capital gain. Some cases 15%. We'll see in some specific cases. Long-term capital gain, 20%. Lottery, crossword, puzzles, etc., 30% flat. As you know, tax on book profit, etc., is 18.5%.
So your voice was not audible.
Yeah, friends, just well, friends, I was talking to you about these special rates, right? These are certain specific rates which are there in the Income Tax Act itself. And after that, while discussing about various tax rates, I had told you in many situations, the concept of marginal relief. Okay, I had told you where surcharge is applicable. I told you surcharge is applicable, but subject to marginal relief. Now let us quickly understand what is the concept of marginal relief. Sometimes what happens, as you have already seen, that if your total income exceeds 50 lakh, exceeds 1 crore, exceeds 2 crore, exceeds 5 crore, etc., then you have to pay a surcharge. Isn't it? Surcharge means it's a tax on tax. Sometimes what happens, because of this thing, because of this provision of paying surcharge, this genuine taxpayer faces a kind of hardship. Hardship means you have to pay substantial higher amount. So to avoid that kind of situation, this provisions of marginal relief is there in the act. So let us quickly learn it. Now you see, I will give you some examples now. Now, first of all, let me tell you the earlier provisions. First, let us say this surcharge. Now you see, in case of individual, I had told you, if the total income exceeds 5 lakh, 50 lakh rupees up to 1 crore, then surcharge is how much?
10%.
10%. Now you
10%.
see. Now you see. Let us take an example of this thing. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. I am trying to share with you. Just tell me whether you are seeing an Excel file or you are seeing the folder.
Folder.
So the folder.
You are seeing the folder now. Okay, right. Now you tell me whether you are seeing an Excel file.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Now let us see. Let us do this calculation. So now you know if the total income is up to of an individual we're talking about up to 2.5 lakh, the tax rate is nil. Right. Now here let us assume, are you seeing it?
Yes,
Let
sir.
us assume the total income of the person is 50 lakh exactly. Okay, exactly 50 lakh. Then how, let us compute his tax liability up to 2.5 lakh nil, 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh, 5% that comes to 12,500. Okay. And above 5 lakh up to 10 lakh, 20% that comes to 1 lakh. Above 10 lakh, it comes to 30%, it comes to 12 lakh. So total income tax is how much? How much?
13 lakh 12 lakh.
13 lakh 12,500. All this taken together. Okay, this is his income tax. But since his total income is up to 50 lakh, then surcharge is not applicable. So there is no surcharge. Okay, now income tax plus surcharge is also same because surcharge is 0. Okay, here marginal relief is not applicable because surcharge is not there. Total tax he has to pay. Total tax is 12 lakh, 13 lakh 12,500 plus he has to pay health and education cess of 4%. That is 52,500. So his total tax and cess taken together is 13 lakh 65,000. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Fast case. This column, did you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this part is clear to you. All of you have understood this is how tax calculations are made in a normal situation where tax liability is up to 50 lakh. Okay, but I had told you when the tax liability is above 50 lakh up to 10 crore, then what will happen? Surcharge is 10%. Okay, are you getting?
Yes, sir.
Now let us say in this situation, now we'll come to this particular column. Now let us say this. Let us say somebody's total income is not 50 lakh. How much it is? 50 lakh and 100. Let us compute his tax liability. Okay. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
What is the tax liability of the first slab? You see up to 2,50,000 nil. Then 2,50,000 to 500. Again same 12,500. Then 5 lakh to 10 lakh, 1 lakh rupees, 20%. Then above 10 lakh, 30%. That is 12 lakh and 30 rupees. Okay. because his income is more by 100 rupees. So 30 rupees more here, 30% of that. So total income tax, as you can see, 13,12,530. Is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
13,12,530. Now, since the total income exceeds 50 lakh rupees, now you see we have to pay surcharge at the rate of 10%. And surcharge is calculated on the tax itself. This is tax on that 10%. So how much will be the surcharge?
1,31,253.
1,31,253, 10% of the tax. Now coming to what is income tax plus surcharge? These two taken together, how much it is?
14,43,783.
Good, 14,43,783. Right. So this much tax has to pay. So earlier, suppose when income was 50, how much tax you are supposed to pay? 13,12,500. Now he is how much he is paying? 14,43,780. How much extra he is paying?
1,31,30.
1,31,283 he has to pay. Why he has to pay? Because he has got an extra income of how much?
100 rupees.
100. So is now you can see, is it not causing a genuine hardship to that person? He got 100 rupees extra, and because of that, he has to pay 1,31,283. Is it not causing a
sir.
genuine hardship?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, that is why, to avoid this kind of situation, this provision is there under law, that what he can do, what in this case, what will happen? He will be allowed a relief, which is called as marginal relief. Why it is called marginal relief? Because his income is marginally exceeding the limit. Therefore, it is called as marginal relief. It is marginally exceeding, and for which he has to pay this one. Now, question arises: how much relief will be given? Relief will be given in such a way that additional tax will not exceed the additional income. What is additional tax? This much. Okay. And what is additional income?
100.
This one. So additional tax is exceeding additional income.
Yes, sir.
Is it not? So how much relief will be given to him in such a way that it should not exceed? That means extra amount he is paying, this amount minus this amount. He is paying 1,31,183. And that amount will be allowed to him as marginal relief. As you can see, 1,31,183. And when this relief is allowed, his total tax will become 13,12,600. That means earlier he was paying 12,500. Here he is paying 13,12,600. This extra rupee which is earning is totally is going to tax. Of course, health and education cess will be levied after that, and consequently, ultimately, he has to pay 13,65,104, which will be rounded up to nearest to 100, that is 13,65,100. Rounded up to nearest to 10. So it is 13,65,100. That means ultimately he has to pay 100 rupees extra, which is his extra income. So there will not be any hardship. Did you understand this concept, or should I repeat it again?
Please repeat it.
Understood, sir.
Understood, sir.
Yeah, some of you, for the benefit of others, let me quickly repeat it here. Now you see, surcharge is applicable when the total income exceeds certain limits, right? And because of this surcharge, there is a possibility that it may cause genuine hardship to some taxpayers. The hardship will be caused when the total income marginally exceeds this limit. For example, if the total income is 50 lakh, no surcharge. But when the total income is 50 lakh and 1, there will be surcharge. In our example, we have compared 50 lakh with 50 lakh and 100 rupees. When the total income is 50 lakh, we have seen the total tax outgo will be 35,65,000. Okay. How it is that by application of the slab rate, total in tax comes to 13,12,500, and there will be no surcharge. So income tax plus surcharge will be 13,12,500. But when the income is marginally excess by 100 rupees, that means total income is 50 lakh and 100. He has to pay tax rate. He has to pay a tax of 13,12,530 by applying the normal tax rate. But in addition to that, he has to pay surcharge at the total as the total income is exceeding 50 lakh rupees. And here the applicable surcharge is 10%. So if 10% is charged, 10% is applied on this income tax, additionally he has to pay 1,31,253. Consequently, the tax and surcharge taken together, he is supposed to pay 14,43,783. Meaning, if you compare this tax plus surcharge amount with the earlier tax plus surcharge amount, assuming that his income is 50 lakh, you can find for 100 rupees extra income, he's paying extra 1,31,283. For earning 100 rupees extra, he's paying 1,31,283. So this is causing a genuine hardship to the taxpayer. So the concept of marginal relief is there. This taxpayer will be allowed a relief. Automatically, this relief will be allowed. Okay, friends, you are listening to me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this taxpayer, as I told you, will be allowed a relief. Okay. How much relief will be allowed? Relief will be allowed in such a way that his extra tax burden will not exceed his extra income. So now you have to think how much relief will be given so that his extra tax burden will not increase extra tax burden. So if extra tax is 1,31,283, his extra income is 100 rupees. So this extra tax or additional tax is exceeding his additional income by 1,31,183. So this minus this 1,31,283 minus 100. So he'll be given a relief of 1,31,183. So he has to pay only 100 rupees extra. That is 13,12,600 rupees, which is his extra income. Did you understand? And on that, health and education cess will be added up. Then finally, the total income tax will be rounded up to nearest rupees 10. Did you understand this concept?
Yes, sir.
Sir.
This is the concept of marginal relief. Right. With this, we have understood broadly various provisions relating to tax rate. We'll stop here. Today we'll stop our show here. We'll catch up in our next class with some other concept. So thank you very